So you're looking to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, and you want to find the best planned communities in and around our area. Well, you've come to the right video. We are going to go ahead and dive in, and I'm going to point out the top 5 planned communities with a variety of traits, all differentiating from one another. And stay tuned to the very end, because there's a new planned community that has just broken ground that might give you some of the resort style living you're looking for in an ideal location. Now, if you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina and South Carolina, the ins, the outs, and everything in between, then you've come to the right channel. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe and stay up to date on everything Charlotte, including the things you didn't know you needed to know. And if you want to get notified of every video I drop, go ahead and hit that notification button. Now, I really do, honestly, I really do help people just like you every single day. They send me calls, texts, emails, set up Zoom meetings with me. All of my information is in the description below. Be sure to reach out to me and let's make your move exactly what you want it to be. Whether it's 9 days or 90 days from now, whether you're moving across the country, across the world, or just across town. Be sure to go ahead and grab my information in the description below and give me a shout. Now let's dive into the video for today. I want to give you guys the top 5 planned communities, and this isn't just my opinion, this is also the opinion of those online and those that I've spoken to with regards to my clients on the top 5 planned communities here in Charlotte. Number 5 on the list on our countdown of top planned communities is Highland Creek. Now, I have Highland Creek as number 5 because it is an older community. Highland Creek started breaking ground back in the 90s and kept building, and honestly was building right up into a few years ago. But some of the most amazing features about Highland Creek is not only the location, but what has been built around it. In fact, when Highland Creek first broke ground, it was surrounded by farmland and a lot of woods. At this point, it's a center point very close to Concord Mills Mall, and that entire location, from a standard of shopping and grocery stores, you name it, has expanded. In addition to that, in the years since Highland Creek broke ground and the area expanded, the 485 loop that goes all the way around Charlotte was also completed, making it an even more ideal location. Figure, back when it was first built, it took a little while to actually drive there because there was no main interstate connecting it. Now it's a bit of a hub. So let's talk about some of the amenities of Highland Creek. Honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons why people choose planned communities. It's not only because of the community itself and the sense of community around you, get it? But it's also because of the amenities that are offered. Highland Creek has a plethora of amenities, and it was the first of its kind in Charlotte. Also why I'm naming it first. They have a golf course, multiple pools, tennis courts, pickleball, you name it when it comes to sports. But they also have a beer garden. Yes, this is at the golf course in the golf community. You can go ahead and join that or just pop in for a beer. It's totally fine. You don't have to be a member of the golf course to do that. Now, one thing I will add, unlike many other areas of the country, you don't actually have to join the golf club in order to get the amenity. In addition to that, you don't have to join in order to live there. I know there's a lot of communities across the states that you actually are mandatorily obligated to join that. You don't have to in Highland Creek. You still get access to the pools and playgrounds and all of those things just for living there without an additional fee on top of your standard HOA fee. Now, in addition to that, there's some other really cool features about Highland Creek. Well, it has its own elementary and middle school. And in fact, yes, if you live in Highland Creek, you will go to that elementary and middle. The ratings are phenomenal, and it's nice and easy for your kids to be able to walk to school. On top of that, they have several parks and pools, as I mentioned, but what I didn't mention is that they're scattered throughout the development. So you might be able to access one closer to you. There is a main street that does go through Highland Creek. It's a 4-lane, 2 on each side with a median, but it does have a nice slow speed limit, and there's plenty of side roads. In addition to that, they actually have a child care center and a memory care facility and large homes all the way up to 3,500 square feet and sometimes a little bit more. Now, I already mentioned HOA dues, so let's dive back into that. HOA dues for the community is $180 per quarter. Now, at the time that this is being recorded, that's what it is. HOA dues do vary, and they do change from time to time. But one thing I will mention, especially having clients that have lived in Highland Creek, The HOA board is reasonable. Yes, I know we've all heard those nightmare stories about HOAs. That is not the case in Highland Creek. They're fairly laid back and very reasonable. The community itself is phenomenal. When you end up moving in there, you are gonna find a sense of place, some brand new friends you didn't know you needed, and it's in an ideal location. As I mentioned, it's really close to Concord Mills Mall, very close to I-85, I-77, and 485. All of these interstates get you anywhere you need to go to Charlotte in about 20 minutes. Yes, I live very close to there, so I can attest to this. In addition to that, you also have 2 additional malls and you're 15 to 20 minutes from Lake Norman. All these are huge benefits when you're looking for a place to live. Now let's talk about home prices. The home prices in Highland Creek vary drastically. It depends upon how big of a home you're looking for, and of course, how renovated it is. But the median price point that we're seeing is about $430,000. Again, this varies depending upon what size of home you're looking for and how updated it is, but this is still a truly affordable neighborhood. Now, what's the downside to this neighborhood? Well, for some people, it's older, right? It was started in the 90s, and therefore you do have some 90s stylings and 90s architectural design. However, it's still a phenomenal place to live, great schools, great location, and I would definitely check it out if you're considering planned communities. Number 4 on the list is Millbridge. The Millbridge community is located in Waxhaw, North Carolina. Now, if you've seen my other videos on Waxhaw, Waxhaw is one of the most, or should I say top 10, most affluent towns around Charlotte. Now, some of the beauty about Waxhaw is the fact that it is set back away from Charlotte. In fact, it sits about 40 minutes south of downtown Charlotte in a beautiful area surrounded by absolutely magnificent homes, farms, and equestrian centers. It's actually quite the equestrian hub in the Charlotte area. Millbridge sits on over 900 acres and it's an absolutely beautiful planned community. From the moment that you enter the community, you're gonna pass through this beautiful covered bridge, which makes you feel like you're up in East Connecticut. Once you come through there, there's a beautiful community center on the left-hand side. It's the amenity center, which on the other side of that has your pool, has your playground, and has all of the amenities you could possibly imagine, including tennis and pickleball courts. So let's get into a little bit of detail on those additional amenities that I just mentioned. Unlike many other communities, they feature a more resort style, including a coffee bar, covered basketball courts, fitness center, movie theater, pool pavilion, which is complete with a water slide and lazy river, and much more. In addition to that, they have kids events and community events. On top of that, it was actually named Community of the Year in 2022 by the Builders Association of the Greater Charlotte area. I would say that's a pretty good sign that this is a great community. Now, the homes in this neighborhood range from the late 2000s into the 2020s. And in fact, there are homes constantly coming on the market and are available, obviously, because it's a fairly large community. In fact, one of my clients recently moved into one of the homes there and they cannot stop raving about it. They were moving here from out of state and said that they feel completely at home and don't see themselves living anywhere else anytime soon. Now, on top of that, a larger part of the Millbridge community actually feeds into a phenomenal school in Waxhaw. That's right, Waxhaw has great schools all the way from K through 12. However, there are some areas of the development that don't feed into these schools, and the schools might be slightly differently rated. Now, it doesn't mean the schools are bad. I just want you to know that there are 2 different schools that your child could be assigned to. So double check it, see where they're going to be. But honestly, all of the schools in Waxhaw are absolutely top notch, so you can't go wrong either way. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at the HOA and pricing. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. The HOA is $580 semi-annually. Honestly, it's a pretty decent HOA for all of the amenities that you get. In addition, there's not a second HOA. I get this question a lot with people moving from other states into our area, asking if there's more than one HOA. It's very, very rare here to have a community that has more than one HOA, and this is not one of them. Only one HOA due, and you get all of these amenities that I have listed, all encompassing among that. I think it's a great opportunity, especially if you're looking to move to the area. Now let's talk about price range. Millbridge home prices are absolutely astounding. Year over year, the price in this community continues to go up. Now, while you might be thinking, yeah, but now I'm gonna have to pay more, here's what I'll tell you. If you're purchasing in this community, you can expect, based on historic data, that your home value is gonna go up between 6 and 8% every single year based on what we're seeing over the last few years. Now, as of right now, the median home value in this development is $613,000. Now, it depends upon the size of the home that you're looking for, as well as the age of the home, because that plays a little bit of a role there. But on average, you're gonna see that the median home price is $613,000 and rising. So get in sooner and see that equity grow. Number 3 on the list, the Palisades. Now, I know you've heard me talk about the Palisades before, and if you look up master plan communities in Charlotte, it's usually the first one that's gonna pop up. The Palisades is a 1,600 acre community. That's right, you heard me, 1,600 acres. It's quite expansive with multiple builders, multiple styles, multiple sizes and price ranges. And honestly, I feel like it's the closest to resort style living in the Charlotte region that you're gonna find. Now, inside the Palisades itself are 20 communities. Now, here's the reason for that. We want to make sure that in a planned community that you have opportunity for several different styles of buyer. Not everybody wants a little mansion. Some people want a nice, simple 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Other people want a 6-bedroom with a basement. All of these are possible in the Palisades, and they have them grouped in their own sub-communities, which is extremely helpful. Now, there have been several builders that have built in the Palisades, including Lennar, Toll Brothers, and others. And there's a pretty impressive amount of options when it comes to the style of home that you see. In fact, it's probably going to be a little bit difficult for you to find the same exact home inside the Palisades, because not only have people decided on different options, because Toll Brothers is a semi-custom home builder, but you're also going to see different stylings and flair and different locations throughout the community. So let's talk a little bit about the amenities. Why does this feel like a resort style? Well, the Palisades does, of course, have a golf course. I say, of course, not every planned community has one, but they do have a golf course. Now, your basic amenities, which are included in your HOA dues, which are $280 quarterly. Yes, you heard that right. $280 quarterly are your pool facilities, your clubhouse, walking trails, access to the lake, a plethora of parks, and access to the preserve, the nature preserve that's very close to the Palisades and butts right up to it. Now, on top of your HOA dues, you can go ahead and join the Palisades Country Club. Now, with this, you get some extra amenities. There's an additional pool that you can access, fitness facilities, which also has fitness classes. They also have cycling and other such things. You can play tennis and pickleball. There's a lot of other courts that you can go play on as well. And of course, golf. Now, all of those are included if you go ahead and join the country club. Now, of course, you still have green fees and things of that nature, but it's actually a very reasonable price, and many families opt to go ahead and do that. Now, in addition to that, there are also country club events that happen separate from the actual community events. So take a peek at that, and I think you will enjoy what you have to find. Now, let's talk a little bit about schools. The Palisades also has its own schools, elementary, middle, and most recently, which opened in 2023, Palisades High School. Now, the nice thing about this is the ratings are all phenomenal. Now, at the time that this video is recorded, Palisades High School does not have its ratings fully submitted yet. There's a few things that we still don't know, such as how quickly or how well the students are actually going up through their schoolwork and advancing, because we don't have any historical data yet. But that will be coming in, and if the school itself, which is absolutely gorgeous and state-of-the-art with football fields and baseball fields, soccer fields, you name it, their athletics are top-notch. The education is as well, and has a really great student-to-teacher ratio, ensuring that every student gets the appropriate attention. Now, some other cool amenities about the Palisades that I didn't mention, there is actually an equestrian center on site, and in addition to that, there is also a yacht club that can be accessed, which sits on Lake Wylie. It is a phenomenal location, and I know I didn't talk about this yet, but the Palisades sits on the southwest of Charlotte. So if you're looking at Charlotte, it sits down to the southwest and is almost halfway surrounded by Lake Wylie. So you get the lake life, but still being within about 30 minutes of downtown Charlotte. Phenomenal location. So what are the ages of the homes within the Palisades? Well, as I mentioned, there was a variety of builders that have built throughout the community. There are 20 different sub-communities within the Palisades, and there's a variety of sizes. Well, the ages also range as well, breaking ground in 2004 and has continued to build up and through 2022. The nice thing about this is you can get a home that's newer or a home that's been renovated, or if you want to buy one that hasn't been renovated since '05, go for it and make the renovations yourself. Here's the great thing about this. The equity in this neighborhood keeps going up. That's right, we have seen a consistent upward trajectory of not only valuations in the community, but the percentage for which it increases year over year. And in fact, the median price point in the Palisades right now is $755,000. Now, of course, that is across the board. There is a lot of variation there depending upon the size of the home and the year that it was built, as well as what upgrades were made if you don't have a swimming pool versus if you do. But one thing is for sure, the lifestyle within the Palisades is a phenomenal community. You are close to shopping, the lake, you've got everything you could possibly think of. And the clients that I have that live there, can't stop talking about it. Definitely a top on my list. Number 2 on the list is going to be Walnut Creek in Lancaster, South Carolina. Now, Lancaster, South Carolina sits just to the west of Marvin, North Carolina, and just to the south of Fort Mill. And it's also to the east of Rock Hill. It's in this nice little spot that is about 30 minutes from downtown Charlotte. The great thing about this location is even in town there's some great restaurants, but if you wanted to head into Charlotte or over to Rock Hill or even into Waxhaw, you're a very short drive. So there's some great shopping and restaurants, whatever you're looking for. So what makes this location and this particular development a planned community and something that you would be looking for maybe you and your family? Well, the Walnut Creek location has amazing amenities. Now, there have been a variety of builders who have built in this development, and they started breaking ground back in 2013. In fact, they are still building, or they're about to re-break ground again, but the last one that was sold was in 2023, and my client was the one that got one of the last ones. So why did they want to move there, and why might you? The amenities are stellar, like I mentioned. This includes a junior-size Olympic swimming pool, splash zone for the kids, as well as a great clubhouse, which is all ready for catering and for you to host your event, so you don't have to do it in your house. Now, in addition to that, they also have tennis courts and different types of outdoor recreational areas, such as walking trails and playgrounds. But some amenities that aren't included in the actual development, but are close by and in walking distance, are the plethora of baseball fields, soccer fields, and overall recreation that is also open to the public out towards the entrance of one of the sides of the development. Now, the cool thing about this is you want to pick up a kickball game or you want to go play baseball with your kiddos, guess what? You can head right down up the street. It's in walking distance. You can go down there and have some fun. All of it is open to the public. So let's talk a little bit about the builders in the community. There have been a few builders that are in there, but the ones that are about to reopen some lots or open some lots for the first time are going to be Lennar. Lennar is the builder in Walnut Creek at this time, and they are going to be breaking ground on new homes in 2024. Now, the HOA dues for this particular community are $362 semi-annually. Pretty gosh darn good for great schools and a great community. Don't worry, I'll talk about schools in a second. Now, in addition to that, the HOA dues are going to include all of the things that I mentioned, including street lighting and common area maintenance. So let's talk briefly about the schools. In Walnut Creek, you could potentially be in one of 2 schools in the area, both of which are highly rated. Now, you might be wondering how one community can feed into 2 different schools. Well, as the community grew, because it is a very large planned community, so as the community grew, the local governments wanted to ensure that the schools stayed at a high rating. And in order to do that, we need appropriate student to teacher ratios. So as new schools opened, they led the opportunity for some of the students that are in those areas of the community to go to those new schools. So no, you might not be in the same school depending upon where you are in the Walnut Creek community, but both of the schools are phenomenal. So let's talk briefly about the home values in this neighborhood. Now, the values have not gone up as steeply as some of the other neighborhoods that I've mentioned, such as the Palisades or Millbridge. However, we have seen a consistent increase in the valuation in the community. As of right now, the median sales price in this community is $450,000, and we'll probably see an increase by the end of this year. So whether you wait for new homes to break ground or purchase an existing home, you are going to be moving into a phenomenal community, and my clients in this community absolutely love it. Now for number 1 on my list. This is the Vineyards on Lake Wylie. Now, the reason why this made number 1 has to do with the community that is still growing, the fact that it is really close to Charlotte, and the fact that you can get a home that's already pre-built or being built. In addition to that, it offers luxury style lakeside living. I'm gonna get into the details of this in just a second. So let's highlight this. The Vineyards on Lake Wylie. Already it has a phenomenal sound to it, and there's many reasons for that. This actually sets off to the east side of Charlotte, just south of 85, and across the river from Belmont. Belmont the town, not the neighborhood. The Vineyards at Lake Wylie started building in the late 2000s and is still building today. That's right, there are still homes breaking ground, and they have seen a variety of different builders that have come through. Currently, Meritage Homes is building beautiful single-family homes in a median price range. But you can also find some beautiful luxury properties, and I'm talking luxury, on the lake by Keystone Builders. Now, these particular properties, there are specific lots for this, and in addition to that, there's 1 lot left as of right now when I'm recording this. If you want to take a peek at the homes that I'm talking about, first off, go check out my video on Stanley, where there is a Meritage home tour that I do. Same style of home being built in the Vineyards on Lake Wylie. And in addition to that, check out my luxury lakefront video, which highlights Keystone Builders and the properties that they're building on Lake Wylie right now in this development. Absolutely gorgeous. So the reason why I point all that out is because you have a variety of options in this particular community. And on top of the fact that it's right on the lake, it has some great amenities. So let's talk about it. Now, of course, you have a clubhouse, because what community doesn't? And you have a beautiful pool. But you actually have multiple pools. One of the pools is considered more of an adult pool, and then you have the fun pool, which also has a water slide. The cool thing about the location of the pool and fitness facilities is the fact that it is right in walking distance to the lakefront, where you can also dock your boat. That's right, I said it. You can dock your boat on the actual lake in your community. While most of the homes do not have docks on them, the fact that you can have a inland house and still have a dock, I think is an exceptional opportunity. Now, when it comes to docking, because I know you have questions now, you do actually have to purchase the dock. Yes, that's right. Your slip does have to be purchased, but they do come up for sale from time to time when people realize they don't want to own a boat anymore. I'm saying this because we've been there. Now, as I mentioned, of course, they do also have a fitness facility. They also have a dog park and picnic areas, walking trails, as I said, access to Lake Wylie itself, a playground. They also have a pond, and they have RV and boat storage. That's right, in the community, there's also RV and boat storage. So if you do have one of those, you don't want to put your boat into a slip and you want to launch it somewhere else, which is also available, you can go ahead and store it on site. And last but not least, they have tennis courts, which can second for pickleball if, of course, you play pickleball. So let's talk about the downside to this particular community. In the location that it's in, the schools are not that highly rated. Now, if you aren't worried about schools, then it's not a problem. If you're going to go to private school, there's some phenomenal private schools in the area. But the public schools are not as up to par as you might hope. So go ahead and make that decision. Homeschool, private school, put them in there and get a tutor. But that is the downside to this particular community. Now let's talk about the HOA. HOA is fairly laid back. Of course, they're going to make sure everything is staying where it should. But when it comes to HOA dues, it's about $178 monthly. Now, this is a little bit higher than some of the other communities that we've highlighted thus far. But the fact that it has so many extras, such as the boat storage and the access to the lake, there's a lot of different amenities that the other ones did not have. In addition to that, they are still building, as I mentioned. So these dues might actually change year over year and could actually come down. Now let's look at the median home value. The median home value has actually stayed pretty stable over the last couple of years. Definitely not seeing any crazy increases like some of the other developments that we covered, but we're looking at $463,000 as a median price for homes in this neighborhood. Now, one thing omitted from this are the luxury properties that are being built by Keystone, which are on the lake. They are over 4,000 square feet in many cases and run about 1.2 to 1.6. So that being said, those have been omitted from this, but this is what we're seeing from your more median style home as well. Now, I promised you guys at the end of this, I was going to share with you a really great community that is just breaking ground and has some amazing opportunity for you to get into early on. The community I'm talking about is Griffith Lakes. Now, Griffith Lakes is a Toll Brothers community located in the North Charlotte area, right off of W.T. Harris. Now, I live not too far from this, and I can attest, I love the shopping, I love the convenience, and I love the area. Honestly, it's got beautiful covered trees. The shopping is set back so you don't feel you're looking at a strip mall like some areas that I've seen in the country and even in Charlotte. But one of the best parts about this is they offer a variety of style of homes. They have a townhouse community, but they also have single family residences ranging from 2-bed, 2.5 bath, all the way up to 5-bedroom homes in some cases. Now, the other really cool thing about this is some of the homes in this development are actually on basement lots. Now, if you've been on any of my videos before where I've talked about basements, no Northeasterners, we do not have basements here. I know, I grew up in New York. Everybody has a basement. We don't here in the Carolinas. But if you are on a slope or a hill, you can actually have a basement. The cool thing here, this community does have several basement lots. Grab them while you can. Now, the other piece of this, why I seem to feel like it is one of the best communities that has been launched, it is a pre-planned community. It is going to have all of the amenities that you would anticipate for this, and they are only in phase 1 of several phases. Now, let's go ahead and highlight some of the community features that make it a bit unique. First off, it's one of the first planned communities since Highland Creek in the northeastern area of Charlotte, making it highly unique. Now, on top of that, it actually does have a lake. Griffith Lakes has a lake, and this is going to be the center point of the community. It's going to include anything from paddle boards to kayaks. You'll be able to go walk around. There'll be plenty of walking trails around the lake itself. But let's talk about the amenities center. The amenities center is going to boast a large, I believe, as from what I've been told, it's going to be a junior Olympic size swimming pool, also with a child area for playing. But on top of that, they're going to have fire pits, entertainment areas outside, several pickleball and tennis courts, basketball courts, large amenities center, which also includes a fitness facility and has things like Peloton bikes and that nature. Now, on top of all of that, they're also going to have community groups. So if you've been looking for a way to go ahead and get involved with the community when you're moving from out of state or just from out of town or just want to meet people, they are going to go ahead and have some pre-planned community events that you can get involved with. That's what you can meet your neighbor. Now, as I said, they are only in phase 1. But one thing that I will mention with regards to Toll Brothers is they have a high quality product. That's right. It's not quite luxury in the luxury division for this particular development, but what you're going to find in here are those luxury type features. From the finishes that they have to your options for your design center, they're all available. Now, there are quick move-in options, meaning the house is just about to be done or is complete, or you can go ahead from the ground up, pick a lot, choose what you want to go in it, how many bedrooms, do you want a loft, do you not want a loft? All of these are options. And they also have some great backyard living. Most of the homes that they offer have covered patio areas built into their base model, so you don't have to add that after the fact, as most of us want to, right? This is the Carolinas. We get 3 seasons outdoors. You're gonna want that. Personally, I love Griffith Lakes. And in addition to that, let's talk a little bit about pricing. The price range for these homes range from the high 5s up into the 700s, and it's expected to go higher than that as time passes. Phase 1 is usually the least expensive phase as you're starting to build into a community. So depending upon how big and what kind of features you're looking for, that's what you can expect. Now for their townhouse community, you can expect in the 400s up into the 500s, depending upon which model you go for and how many extras you tack on. So definitely consider this when looking in the area. I know it was put in as an extra on this list, but I think it's going to be in the top 5 here very soon. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. Go ahead and drop into the comments below. Let me know what you think and ask me some questions. We went through a lot of content in this video. And in addition to that, I really do talk to people every single day just like you who are moving to the area. So if that's you, all my information is in the description below. Call, text, email, go ahead and schedule a Zoom meeting with me. I'm here to make your move what you want it to be. Whether it's 9 days or 90 days, whether you're moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, I'm here to make your move everything you want it to be. So until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. You're making the move. There's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're gonna help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.